Illegitimate Fresh and Fit Part 2. So we are dealing with former compadres Allende and Laura J, who were basically cut off from the Fresh&Fit podcast, basically confirming like all the rumors that's been going on with Fresh&Fit, and to basically sum it all up, right? I'm like, because I know they have like a whole long video basically exposing that months ago. You can definitely look that up. I'm titling Lies Exposed, Fresh&Fit frauds under the Allende's main channel, Authentic Alphas. So you could definitely basically take a look at that. But it basically confirms like what this story has been shown all along. That basically Fresh&Fit are literally like students of the whole manosphere. They're like way too shallow in the whole game. And not only that, they're basically coming in and actually spewing all this stuff while they're still trying to analyze what they're learning from masculine conventions and red pill conventions. And to add all top to that, Myron is the leader of the whole thing. Myron is like the ringleader of the whole stuff, and Fresh, Chris, Trey are all yes men. And what's really burdensome, and what's really dangerous about this whole situation is like Myron is just like a deeply insecure, hateful, narcissistic person. He's like one big narcissistic motherfucker that loves to prey on everyone's weakness. And he has that skill when he was like a former agent at Homeland Security, right? So he loves to prey on insecure people that he feels that he can literally dominate over them. Not just women, but also dudes so that he feel like he can have a leg up. Like when he sees someone that's like way more experienced than him in certain areas that he's seeking to attain, all of a sudden he becomes salty. He has like a whole hissy fit, and he does everything he can to sabotage the people and trying to stoop them down to his level. And that's what you're seeing with like a deeply insecure, sick ass, evil motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker is extremely evil. He's extremely dangerous. He's extremely cowardice. You know what I'm saying? Based on like what Allende and Laura J are saying. And you know the most fucked up part about the whole thing? They bastardized Allende's concept of actually bringing women along to actually interview them and try to have a place of understanding and, you know, learn like basically trying to, I wouldn't say discipline them in a way, but, you know, basically check them and check them basically if they basic wrongdoings, actually just walk them away. He was the one that brought it all up. He was the one that introduced the whole Frank Castle thing to Myron, and since then, you know, Myron bastardized the whole thing and trying to make it his own and feel like, oh, he's the super pseudo alpha male of the whole group. And look what happened now. The rest is history, unfortunately. And the rest, as we say, is insanity. And, you know, you got a lot of women turning modern and having to sit in the mindset. And, I don't need a man. Really them crying about, like, the whole channel being misogynistic because of the stuff that they done did, due to the fact that they have a lack of experience. Even though, like, a lot of stuff they say is true, they have barely little no experience with like a bunch of women they've been around to actually share that data with. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that's why they're flawed in that. That's why their inexperience has been shown, and that's why Myron has this heavy ass ego and hubris literally floating right around him. That's gonna lead his demise literally down the road. And what's worse about this whole thing about literally Fresh&Fit literally Chad Townsend preached to a boxing match. Yeah, Allende at the time actually was trying to challenge Myron to a fight, but Myron kept backing out. And the video that they recorded on Allende and Laura J, they definitely recorded, was probably like around a few days ago, if not the day of, which took place on August 22nd of 2021. And later on that day, when Fresh&Fit were doing their little podcast, right? Basically, when the intruder breaks in during after-hour show, they were having their little podcast dealing with like all this quote-unquote red pill content that they've been normally spewing and actually forcing narratives with like another new casting girl that they have, basically casting like a new bunch of women. And you see Ayane come by. Ayane actually came through the Brookville apartment, right off of Brookville Avenue, and came by, checked the security up, because security that's well familiar with him, because Ayane used to be in that building all the time, so they were able to let him up down the room. Came up the room, noticed that the door was unlocked. Ayane opened up the unlocked door, basically checked Myron, basically calling Myron by his government name, Amru, and forced him to come outside and challenge him to a fight. And Myron was basically telling him to, hey, step inside, and that all did, and he went in and went back out. None was done. And what really escalated the whole situation, Ayane and his friend don't even have no guns, yet Myron literally pulls out a whole gun literally behind the scenes. That Myron pulls out a gun right behind his back that you see on an angle that you see triggered like a lot of the women that are up, a lot of the female guests are up in that podcast, and it spooked a lot of them. The moment that Myron pulled that gun out. Now, Ayane actually didn't pull any guns out whatsoever. I ain't pulling any lethal weapons. But Myron was the one that literally pulled the gun out there and Ayane do something. And the moment that Ayane stepped in, Myron still didn't do anything, to the point where it's like literally insanity all the way around. To the point where most of the girls up in that show literally like slowly crawled out and literally walked outside the door. And even some of them literally went with Ayane. That's how Myron and Fresh literally do not control the whole environment of the room. They do not control the atmosphere of the room. They don't control the temperature of the women at all. They do not command respect from those women. They do not command respect from that room whatsoever. And it shows. These dudes are literally pseudo alphas, like right in real time. And we seeing it live, we're seeing it the hard way, man. And they still living in ego and hubris. Fucking sick. On December 28th, 2020, Fresh&Fit posted a video basically titling "Single Mom Dating is Not Smart," and parentheses 7 reasons why, and basically what they were been stating. I'm just going to go browse this whole thing. I'm not going to play the video here. Basically count down from 7 to 1, basically what they're saying. Your money now has to be spread further because it's a package deal. The 7th. The 6th is you cannot discipline a child in your own home. Number 5, time is no longer yours, it belongs to her and the child. Number 4, if you have no kids, you need to create your own legacy. Number 3, you can be exposed to false charges of abuse. Number 2, she has multiple kids with multiple dads. And number 1, you will never be a priority. Yet, Fresh actually married and divorced, annulled the marriage to a single mom that's overweight with a child when he was very young. And in comes Myron, as he followed through based on what the statement said. Months later, in comes a woman by the name of Simone Cheeks, aka Satanisha, right? That's what we call them, clapping them cheeks, if you know what I mean. Now, while they did the podcast and everything, and Simone out of nowhere basically just goes to the podcast and quietly just, And Myron turns fake casts herself up out of there because he thought it was an awkward situation. And then months later, we find out why. And she came back as saying that she was okay, but months later, we literally find out why. And we see here, as I scroll down through the tweets that she has, and she says, and it's posted on August 21st, 2021, that man emotionally manipulates and coerces women into extremely rough and degrading sex. He does things that he knows women don't like. He gets on top of them and overpowers them. He pulls their hair and puts them in positions where it's not easy to stop him. Now, as I scroll down above here, once he gets on top of you, he's in control. He doesn't use condoms. Ooh! He doesn't give the option. Ooh! He will take advantage of you and your body. And if you're a person who panics when you can't get out of something, if you can't move, if you go onto mental shock, it's over for you. This is the same man that says women have to demonstrate sexual value before a man can take them seriously. At the same time, he says once a woman gives up sex, she loses and the man wins. He also says it's a woman's job to please a man during sex and to maintain a man after. He will say shit like, I want to make you the star of the show. I want to help you make money. I want to boost your OnlyFans, get you more followers. I know how to help you make 100K quick. I won't take any money from you. I care about you and I want to help you. Excuse me. And then you get off OnlyFans because I know you don't really enjoy it. He will say anything he can so that you feel like he's valuable and you feel like it's a relationship that you need to maintain. He acts like he cares about you, asks about your life, holds your hand, looks you know your eyes. He makes it seem like he's revealing deep, dark secrets by telling you his real name and what he used to do before the podcast. I'm rude, I'm rude, I'm rude. Scroll a little bit. Now we can scroll down a little bit here. It's obviously information that he sold everybody, but you don't know that until it's too late. I will admit that after I felt like my body was taken advantage of, I stayed. I spent more time with him because he really made it seem like he gave a fuck. He took me out to eat. He stayed on his phone the whole time. He had a consultation with one of his fans over the phone. He did nothing but talk shit and talk down to the boy. I felt terrible. He was extremely controlling. What a sick motherfucker. Continuing. We slept together. I had to lay how he wanted me to. He wanted to control how I looked. Tried to tell me what to wear when we went out. How my eyebrows looked. How my hair looked. As if I wasn't attractive enough the way that I was. He told me that he potentially wanted more than, quote, sex with me. Myself, that I misconstrued everything that happened. But the more he revealed, the more I realized he really didn't like anything about me except for how genuine I was. He saw me as weak, and I was weak. Predatory Myron. Sometimes he even records his sex. Oh! He's not dumb. He keeps himself legally clear and asks permission to record, but clouds a drug And it's a drug that he uses to prey on women, leveraging his fame, basically. And even women that don't give a clout about clout, he finds a way. Now you go up a little bit. After I had gone on the podcast the second time, the first time I walked off because something fell off. I don't know why the fuck I went back. The way that when you walk in their hands, you would drink and keep your cup full so that you easily agitate and you're off your game. I stayed sober specifically so I could see what the fuck was going on, so that I could feel the energy in the room, so that I could stay aware. The way the alcohol and the cockiness and rambling of the other woman mixed with the leading questions and the bullshit I'm reading all this stuff down. Oh my god, this shit is so insane, you got no idea. Got me right out of that chair and had me walk into my car. And the fans are the most ignorant, hateful people. I explained how I felt and why I felt it on my Instagram, and all I got was, "You're stupid OnlyFans, bitch. Why do your dumb ass go on the podcast?" But after he asked for my number and I talked to him for a little while outside, I feel uneasy. He took that shyness and said he thought it was cute. When I got in the car, he pulled my hair and started kissing on my neck without my permission. Uh-oh. I should have known then. Uh-oh. He has his way of painting himself as something that he's not. This way of using that way that he looks to his benefit. He has this confidence that almost dares you to say no to him, and I am a people pleaser. Oh man. Just from my past experiences, I've learned not to say no to men because you never know if they're gonna follow you, stalk you, harass you, kill you. But also I was attracted to him in a strange way because he was very nice to me, very sweet to me. Oh man, insane. A couple times during the podcast, and people notice this, he would gently put his hand on the small of my back and push me towards the microphone. He always found a way to touch me or initiate some type of contact. And that's manipulation that I'm talking about. He sensed weakness in me. Because once I got on the podcast, I was quiet. I wasn't argumentative. My social anxiety had me stuck in my seat. I didn't look confident. And instead of going after the women that openly disagreed with him, he thought I was a proper target. And to be honest, I've had my share of cloud interests, but I wasn't used to men of his fake caliber taking any interest in me so quickly. While I was fully clothed, bare-faced, the interest almost always stems from Insta, non-person. So I definitely was flattered. It's all part of his game. And to make matters worse, he created a life with me. He lied and told me that he was 99% sure he hadn't, but that I should take a plan B anyways. I didn't take one because it made me extremely sick, and if he was 99% sure that he had a strong pullout game, quote, quote, I didn't feel the need to. And now, he's handling like a complete asshole. Damn. This is insane. I've been depressed for 2 weeks. I've left the house once. And now I'm in a new state/city by myself and having to get an abortion. Alone. He says he'll be by my side for it, but I don't want that type of energy around me at all. At some point, I told him that I was ovulating. I told him that I was extremely fertile. I told him that I wasn't on birth control. He didn't give a fuck about any of that. What a sick motherfucker, Myron. What a sick motherfucker. And we see everything that's quoted up here, right? I think waking up, and it's basically Myron saying, says Myron, I think waking up together naked wouldn't be too bad. And Simone basically said, I mean, it sounds good, but I'm thinking like beyond that, then what? You know, I can expect you to tell me, especially when I haven't demonstrated my quote-unquote sexual value, as you put it, LOL. But I just don't want to turn into someone that you spent one night with and getting way too old for that. Myron says, hell no. You know too much at this point. Dan's even getting no. I just got into bed. Myron said, you adventurous. Simone says, I think you should sleep. This is insane. And I'm just scrolling down all these sex. Listen to this show. Right? And notice. Right? Yeah. Myron actually just like ruin this girl with all like the soothing songs to try to give her what she wants to hear and all that other bullshit. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff while literally desperate trying to leverage his fame and try to fuck somebody raw. No condom. Impregnated Miss Cheeks. Clapping them cheeks raw. Okay? And now she's currently aborted the child due to Myron's hatred of women in general, right? So we're going to try and scroll down and continue on with all this craziness. And you see the hypocrisy that has been exposed in full time months ago, right? And these are all the texts they have here, a key one, you know. With Simone saying you have to have at some point have a little bit of accountability in this year, like literally blaming everything on me. Every sentence that comes out of your mouth starts with what I'm doing instead of you, what you're doing. Myron says, I need to cool off. My heart is racing and my chest hurts. I have pre-hypertension. Let me cool off and I'll call you. Please. No, I'm controlling my emotions. My body's another story. Bullshit. It may be possible too that he got pre-hypertension in the family. But he is overwhelmed. Trust me, at that time, I can tell you right now, Myron is completely overwhelmed due to the fact that he unexpectedly impregnated this chick. And he got way too cocky and way too arrogant on his whole quote-unquote pull-out game, not even care about the results. And look what the fuck happened now. Look what happened now. Another baby on the way. You ain't ready to be a father, all that finances and your lies getting exposed. Come on, Myron. Simone says, you can't sit here and suppress shit and do shit the wrong way and think that your body's not gonna fucking tell you that you're wrong. Ooh, goddamn. Insane. And clearly he's losing his mind. Myron is losing his shit. And you both need to cool out. I'm not most of them irritated how you treat me. Hey, man. Hey. Insane. Self-proclaimed alpha male. Right? And I'm gonna go scroll all this the way down. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I'm looking at Red Pill right now. Wannabe pseudo alpha motherfucker. Behind the scenes, he the undercover simp. Certified undercover simp by impregnating OnlyFans girl who's a single mom. Violating his credence. Robbed out the woman, got her pregnant. You know. Now, fortunately for him, you know, she did terminate the baby. You know. But, golly. And the girl was on a porn career. Golly. And I'm going to go back to, saying mind games ain't the poppy on Reddit, which is a lie, because Myron clearly paid the young woman, right? Post of the sound and post LOL, announcing the abortion. Another respondent basically says, excuse me, big fool right there. Effing fucking crazy shit, bro. And I think the loser fake RP Simpson went ahead with his crazy bitch narrative for Myron not cover single mom. Quote, quote, quote. And another one says, quote, was no abortion brother, she is a scammer. Another one quotes, never understood why women do this. Then my dad said some women like a book with number white pages and words don't try to understand because they can't even understand themselves. Another one says she has another kid in North Carolina, allegedly. The child is 6 years old, allegedly. She hasn't seen for 5 years, let that sink in. What a shit, quote unquote, mother. She's too busy tricking and applying to finesse men that gender she has a deep hatred for. Speaks horribly about men, bitches, because they judge her and don't want to wife her up, along with complaining because they won't help her with merch and won't tip her enough. LOL. And on OF's raw dogging on cam. She fucks men for housing and money. Also, if anyone saw her old IG, she's into witchcraft and smearing blood on herself. That chick is pure evil and creepy. Allende Pascalso are morons for giving this hoe a platform. End quote. Then why the fuck is Myron with this bitch? Why does he fuck her, man? God, man. Why are you with this bitch if he knows he's crazy? Oh, dog, you seen the controversy explosive of every time, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, I tell y'all. I got more rebuttals to this. You have no idea. You got no idea. And the more we go down this rabbit hole, this whole craziness, the more insane it gets, y'all. I gotta try and calm my nerves down for real. Now that I'm fully calm, I can finally get back to this whole ordeal here. After the whole controversy that Fresh&Fit has been dealing with the alleged pregnancy and the alleged abortion, and Albert Priest calling Fresh&Fit on the bullshit, you know, a bunch of subscribers have basically unsubscribed. The number of subscribers that Fresh&Fit had on their channel has dropped tremendously. I believe at the time from about 430,000 subscribers close to 370,000 subscribers. So they had like about a 70,000 subscriber drop ever since the controversy came through. And it was just so insane after Fresh&Fit made a have-to apology and had they have-to confession of whatnot, basically exposing some of the truths and the half-truths that they spew out, but not really giving out any thorough evidence throughout the whole story the whole time. You know, here they go with Myron and Fresh and Chris putting out a giveaway, saying, hey, we have this big subscriber challenge. We got this big giveaway. We are on an aim to have 1 million subscribers. And it's a desperation attempt to try and get the subscriber sweepstakes to actually go about, right? So I want to try and make sure we get that out there. I know they have it in the community tab here. We have this road to 1 million subscribers giveaway where the winner basically gets like a free PS5 once you get the subscribers. And once you do subscribe, you got to try and pay like a monthly due. You know what I mean? It's just insane. You see the desperation that these guys have. You know what I'm saying? Which is just beyond insane. And we're in a few months, they skyrocket. They said subscribers really skyrocketed up to about 600, literally over 600,000 subscribers, right? Around 677 subscribers have actually usurped themselves. They got themselves onto Valuetainment, actually spewing up their contradictory nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Which was what I have like a really, really huge issue with based on that. But there will be more controversy to come, I guarantee y'all. The only thing we got remaining left is basically the alleged copyright strikes that they keep spewing out, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, the present situation with I Am Skippy and the whole black woman fiasco as well, right? So we will definitely get ourselves to that. We'll definitely more. Keep on the lookout. You know what I mean? This is gonna be real insane. Alright, so how did the Anaquin Myron situation actually get widespread? There's a random YouTuber by the name of Black v Silver who actually basically noticed like a screenshot in the DM of Myron's talk with Anna on Instagram, and he posted up to another YouTuber by the name of Kevin Wade Wilder, basically challenging Fresh&Fit's hypocrisy at the time. He posted it up, basically calling out Myron, and everything literally spread like wildfire. There's one guy that's actually literally trying to check him, actually challenging like them content creators, Fresh&Fit. You got 1 or 2 right there. And another one by the name of John Anthony Lifestyle, who actually has like a real lake count of over 1,000 women. Alpha male, booty caliber sounds in the world that you even think of. He actually showed actual proof that Myron actually contacted John to seek more help on how to actually get more legs. Basically telling them he has like around 128 leg count, banging 4s and 8s, while John Anthony's been banging 9s and 10s, right? So it basically shows Myron's vulnerability right there, giving that email and also giving this hypocrisy, and he's been blasting him ever since. Also note, right? Excuse me. Also note, Steve the Dean Williams, has been ridiculed, has been trolled and disrespected by Fresh&Fit, and even he called them out. And the irony is, he called out mainly Myron, and he actually told on a video clip from the lead attorney that Myron is actually part of the 21 convention years before he saw the Unplugged Fitness, basically being one of the attendants for his guest speech convention years ago. So it just comes to you how shallow in the game he really is compared to Steve the Dean's experience going on for around 30 plus years. You know what I'm saying? And not just that to try to expose him. Then you got Agent 00, who has like a very strong YouTube following of multiple channels. In total over like 2 million, 3 million views. And you got Low coming through, and they have a channel called Playback, even though like that channel's not even as popular as Fresh&Fit at the time. With Agent 00 being legit, they are literally way more popular than Myron. They actually called them out and actually checked them on their bullshit as well. You know what I mean? The lead attorney, actually called them out on their bullshit as well. You know what I'm saying? The list goes on and on and on, beyond fucking insanity. As many of you have already know, I'm autistic. I have Asperger's syndrome. My condition can have me going like a high level cases of anxiety and depression if I'm not fully focused on what I do for a living and waste on what I enjoy. That's the issue that I have when it comes down to depression. So I do have some knowledge and expertise in regards to that type of subject, because you know why? Because I lived through it. I deal with a diagnosis that could be at risk of anxiety and depression if things don't go away. If I endure a certain set of traumas, it could trigger it. I know I can relate to it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to try and break it down in two parts. The first part is definitely going to be the issue with Myron basically trying to school Skippy on some game that he actually given. And the second part is basically trying to explain to Skippy himself to check to see how he's doing and what basically efficient and proficient steps do I suggest to him coming by moving forward. So with that, let's get to part one. I did watch some key concepts of Myron's video and everything, and it was a bit cringy. He was like a bit overwhelmed and nervous, Skippy, based on, forgive me about the allergies on, the dogs who were playing with their toys, by the way. So anyway, Skippy was actually feeling a bit traumatized and nervous, his hands fidgeting all over the place, with Myron giving like his quote-unquote authentic game that he given, while it's not even that far off, like up in the red pill space, while it's not even far off in the whole manosphere, high-value lifestyle. He just started off himself. But anyway, while some of his stuff, I do agree it's like some great points. Like a lot of it actually, they do have he does have some great points in there on like what Skippy needs to fix. But I'm very concerned with like how he went about it. The how that he went about it was definitely wrong. What Myron failed to do in a situation like this, what he should have asked Skippy up in public so that the whole will understand how serious depression is one, have you spoken with a therapist? That's going to be the first step. Have you spoken with a therapist for a while in regards to your issues? And if he says yes, you have like the green light to actually go ahead and bring him to the follow-up question. Actually, a therapist, you go off on that. If he says no, you gotta just ask him the other follow-up question: have you actually been with a life coach to actually discuss with you those issues? And if he says yes, we're trying to get everything organized, and he's still in this loop and everything. If he's still a little bit obtuse, then he may have a case for the stuff that he has. But if he's still working on it, he mind his business. And if he hasn't actually gotten a life coach, he should be stopping there with the advice and get the therapist you need, get the life coach you need. We'll be able to provide all the information for you in regards to your area. We'll be able to try and look one for you that we'll be able to pay for you with your insurance. At no cost, we'll foot the bill. We want to make sure that you get it right. That would have been a better response to handle something like this. Because even though Myron claims that if you live in the first world country with all the highly advanced goods, people are saying you have no excuse for you to be oppressed and everything. That's a crock of BS, because it's not as black and white as he may think. Depression is a very, very complex area. It's not fully black and white. It's very gray that could be triggered at some point, like anytime that you experience a trauma, anytime that you experience a struggle, depression can happen to you. It's a matter of how do you try to rebound back from that depression? What are the plans that's needed in order to minimize the effects that depression can have? Whether it be like a strain in your relationships, maybe it could be like you getting laid off from your job, maybe it could be like inequitable mistreatment in some way, maybe it's like some life that's being threatened with you being racially harassed, or people attempting to lynch you, or people that actually try to attempt to murder you, or rape you, you know what I'm saying? People making a mockery out of it, that could be an issue as well. All kinds of factors actually slip in, actually just like seep into that trauma that could trigger anyone in any place of time in any space. You know what I'm saying? And not just Skippy alone can handle, right? So yes, even though, Skippy needs to actually upgrade his job, even though Skippy needs to up his money, right? Skippy needs to improve per se, to try to live on his own so he can have his own train of thought and upgrade his wardrobe. all that stuff is literally thrown into if he doesn't improve on that depression aspect, if he doesn't improve on himself socially and get all his stuff straightened out, if he doesn't get a freaking therapist to handle his issues. You know what I'm saying? If you don't even get, you can have all the money in the world, you can still be rich, but you can still be depressed, right? You can have like a successful family, you know, like, but you can still be depressed with your wife arguing over BS. You know what I'm saying? You could be with kids and you can still be depressed behind the scenes. You could be extremely famous and have all this overwhelming money. You know what I'm saying? All that fame come by you, right? Still be depressed. Or you have people actually filing lawsuits against you, getting you hemmed up through the fact that you may have like some little civil or criminal case on your head, and you can be oppressed that way. You know what I'm saying? You can be oppressed having like overabundance of money, you know, after basically having an inheritance of wealth due to the passing of a family member, right? That can happen. That can have you feeling depressed and overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a one-size-fits-all narrative. Hence why he should have brought up the whole therapy, excuse me, life coach situation. Otherwise, all that stuff could have been like all full garbage, you know. Like there are some people that actually watched this show like within months ago at a time, you know, probably took it to gold. But you know, with Myron, he literally got his own issues that he got to be dealing with, literally behind the scenes. That contradicts what he contradicts what he actually preaches up in these YouTube streets, up in these podcast streets, up in these Twitch streets. How should I say this? To actually trying to preach the life they had, to trying to get that false slap of luxury. You know what I'm saying? That's the issue that I have for Myron. And he literally 31, 32 years old, literally starting to actually get involved with the whole Uncle Sam. He not even fully qualified to even explain to him in that manner. And Skippy's literally 44, 45 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's not even at that stage yet. So that's the issue that I really do have in this, you know. With people like that, I wouldn't take that advice. I take that advice with a grain of salt. But again, I'll discuss more on that on part 2. All right, back at you with part 2 of the whole Fresh and Fit I Am Skippy scenario here. As I've said before, in regards to this message is directly towards Skippy himself and any others who are actually struggling through some difficult times right now. When it comes to depression. All right, so Skippy, if you're willing to listen, because I understand you're currently out of the whole social media space for a while, then make sure you get your head right and get your mind right. And first off, I want to speak to you and actually give you a huge congratulations for taking the very first step of trying to enhance and improve your life. All right, for actually admitting the problem, that is a huge accomplishment for actually that's going down, and I truly appreciate you coming out and hashing those issues, especially when you came on Fresh and Fit and has those issues as well. Now, the next steps that I wish that Myron actually probably put down, I probably will explain to you what you should have done, and hopefully what you can do once you're on your journey to basically get yourself fully motivated again. You know, so that's what I would say here. For I don't know if you probably knew or if you're well aware, because I'm autistic. I'm well aware that you are helping other adults with autism that deal with way worse conditions than mine. You know, unfortunately, my situation, in my case, it's very high functioning. You know, I'm very fortunate for that, but I know there are other adults out there that are in like way worse shape than I am currently today, and that's really the unfortunate part of all of this. So I want to try and give you like a big quick hitter and give you some definitions on basically what anxiety and depression basically should mean. You know what I mean? Like basically anxiety is more so of the stress anticipating like future trauma, right? Future potential trauma that could happen that could affect your life in a negative way. Depression is basically like some past traumas of what could have been done, what should have been done, and you suck on it for a while. You know, that's basically what the whole source of depression is. And it could last on for probably like a short while, or it could probably be infinite, or it could probably be permanent, depending on what situation you're currently in. You know, with all those things that's involved, it's not a clear-cut, one-size-fits-all ordeal. That's the issue that I have of mine when it says, hey, you're in the first world country. You have no room to be depressed, which is like a bunch of bullshit. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a clear bunch of bullshit. Because due to the fact that you even state that currently, currently with the whole Ukraine situation that's been going on, Ukraine was basically mainly a first world country, like from the 90s, ever since they associated themselves in the Soviet Union. They've been the first world country until possibly now when Russia invaded them again. And now look at what the citizens have to be dealing with, trying to evacuate their homeland that they need for so long, and literally try to risk their lives just to get out of the country and see if they could try and find a way to migrate somewhere else to avoid the trauma, to avoid death, to escape death, right? You're seeing some of those locations, you're seeing some of those suburbs and urban cities that you see literally get tarnished to rubble. With rocket bombs, everything, people getting bombed out of their homes, shopping malls getting destroyed, the whole 9 yards. You're literally seeing Ukraine become a third world country over the past few months, right? So I can understand the type of depression that those citizens are actually coming through. I can't imagine the type of trauma and craziness that they've been going and all the stuff that's been going on over the past few years that led to this point. You know what I'm saying? That has a depression in his own self. That's how extremely great depression is, right? It's not a one-size-fits-all thing, right? It is extremely complex to the point where you don't even know where you even had it or what may have caused it to trigger down. That's going to require a huge, tremendous amount of strength in order to minimize that blow. So what I would like from Skippy, what I would like for you to try to start doing, if you hadn't done it already, I have a couple questions to ask. Have you seen a therapist over the past few years? Do you have a life coach that you currently work with over the past few years? Or are you in the position? Are you in process of actually trying to seek therapists and life coaches? If you are, good. I'll probably actually deal with the other steps later on down the line. But assuming that you haven't, I'm going to try and go at this both ways. Assuming that you haven't, I would like to try and start off with making sure you try to find a very good psychiatrist or a very good therapist so you'll be able to hash out all of your issues outside of family immediately so that he or she will be able to try and diagnose the problem and without medication, try to give you some advice and actually try to where to go and give you some recommendations on certain life coaches on how to transform your life. That would be a great way to start off, even way more information than I could possibly give you. You know what I'm saying? Try and make sure if you're able to spend time with them, depending on how much you can basically give or how much your insurance will allow, depending on what insurance you have. If your insurance will allow you to actually see a psychiatrist or a therapist daily or weekly, take advantage of that shit immediately. All right? That's all I would say. You know what I mean? Start dealing with that. Make sure you handle your daily, weekly, monthly sessions, depending on how many sessions your insurance allows. Make sure you handle those sessions. Get all those issues hashed out. And take the advice of your psychiatrist to see if if that's the psychiatrist or the therapist that, you feel is a good fit. You know what I mean? You want to try and make sure you take that advice seriously. All right? The next step would be, whether or not the therapist will allow you, is to try your best to go seek a life coach if you have enough money to do it. Right? Once you find the information there, try to seek advice of that life coach also. And try to take the advice of him or her and see what type of stuff you can do from here on out. Now, say that's case one right there. Case two, say you don't have enough money to actually try to build on basically what you need. You can try to limit yourself and actually go through a therapist. And while you deal with that therapist, right? I know you're in the process of actually trying to move out and actually trying to save and heads all your money up, just so that you can try and live better and you'll be able to try to live alone. What I will say is while you're done with your therapy sessions, if you have not already, so you would try your best to get yourself back more active, get yourself exploring without driving the car, See if you could try to go for a walk in the park.
See if you can try to go hiking and see if it's your favorite thing to do. Try exploring. Try getting back in your happy place by exploring, trying other things to get like more endorphins in your system and see if you can try and get yourself more joyful again, to get yourself feel more motivated. Also, if you can, like exercise would probably be like another good thing in the book. I would suggest, I'm not saying you have to do it, but I would try to suggest seeking personal training if you can, and have them get an exercise by your issues if you're willing to do it, if you feel a little more motivated enough to actually seek more of a high, right? Endorphins wise, and try to make sure you get yourself more active in a way that you be able to try to focus more clearer. I want to try to do the whole, exercise to lose weight thing. I would just say exercise just to get more endorphins in your system, trying to make sure you calm your nerves down. That'll be another one, right? Once you get that stuff, then you'll be able to try and get yourself more clear. Then you'll be able to try and organize yourself more and more. Then you'll be able to have more of confidence to try and deal with body posture and all these things. Because I understand that you're in your mid-40s, you're around the midpoint of your life. So I don't want to try and give away too much stuff that I don't know, because I'm not even at that point yet. But what I will say is, I'll take cues from you if you definitely can take cues from me. And also, last but not least, although I appreciate you trying to take some of the advice that Fresh&Fit have given you, I would say be very, very careful and take the advice with a grain of salt and try to do some digging back on and see who they really are. You know what I mean? So that you don't have to go down that little dreary world to where you end up being a deep depression. All of a sudden, you lose your shit. All right? That's all I got to say at this point. I wish you all the best in your successes and your endeavors. I wish you the best and you having a healthier and better life. And hopefully, you don't have to be a virgin anymore. So, with that being said,
After dealing with heavy criticism left and right from fellow YouTubers, even Aber and Preets, Fresh&Fit, mainly Myron Gaines, Myron basically has his bots, he has a professional bot literally fuck up their Instagram photos, their Instagram profiles, and have their shit sabotaged. Not only that, he basically has set up copyright strikes and placed copyright strikes on all these other criticizers, who criticize each other by using their stuff that's transformative in nature. It's not like recording basically a clip line by line on YouTube, because YouTube they have a fair use category where you can actually replay certain clips for a short amount of time. We play a portion of a clip and then you transform it, give it some criticism, give an opinion on it, see how it lays, and actually tell a story. That's fair use, which is what those criticizers are doing, mainly John Anthony Lifestyles, Fresh&Fit, Kevin Wade Wilder, Duke and Don, Authentic Alphas, what else we saying? Playing with Fire, Coach White Pill as well. They have been criticizing Fresh&Fit heavily, and even the lead attorney has been criticizing him, and they have all placed them with copyright strikes that they sent out to warning, being very stern, saying you use any of our content for any reason, we're gonna get you. Little they know, these two dumb fucks have no idea how fair use truly works. So they actually challenged, they basically filed an appeal on YouTube in regards to copyright strikes, basically giving the evidence of the video that they've shown. And almost all of these subscribers that got hit with copyright claims by Fresh&Fit won their cases, including the lead attorney, who actually is a licensed family court attorney. He is licensed to practice law. and practiced defense law in the state of Georgia. Okay? He's a real lawyer. He's an actual family court attorney. Okay? You know what I'm saying? He's licensed to practice family law there. And even Kevin Samuels, okay, has issue with that. And he's not saying Fresh&Fit by name because I understand he doesn't want like the manosphere to get a little out of control and everything. And I don't know about the whole manosphere, whatever the hell it is and all that. But, you know what I'm saying? He's even iffy about that. And yes, he basically has stated in the show saying do not use his content and record it line for line without his permission, with the exception of transforming it into fair use. That's not a problem with that with him. Because he has seen that done it before. Like, criticizing Kevin Samuels like a huge business, and he's even criticizing Fresh&Fit for what the fuck they did. Okay, no wonder why Kevin Samuels no longer want to be a part of them. No wonder why Kevin Samuels don't want to even be part of their channel because of that. Because of all the shit that they're doing, all the contradictory stuff they're doing, and all the stuff he heard about Myron talking shit about Kevin Samuels. He didn't want to be there no more because of all this shit. And they chucked them. They were at risk for channel termination. And Fresh&Fit, Myron and Fresh, and I'm quickly bowing out and cowering out like the bitches that they truly are. Ladies and gentlemen, meet a young woman by the name of Miranda Tassona, who hails from the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania suburban area, more specifically Lansdale, which is about a 45-minute drive outside of Philly. She basically is a recent undergraduate alum who graduated in business in 2021 from Temple University and is currently obtaining a master's from Temple right now as we speak. And we all know that she is also a professional sugar baby as well, basically seeking like sugar daddies that provide high lifestyles. And as you see in the TikTok photos, as you see in the TikTok videos and Instagram videos, you basically see what she's basically seeking about, as well as some actually getting a profile out on seeking arrangements. Basically, hey, I need someone that's going to provide me for my lifestyle financially and the whole 9 yards. And we see in TikTok clips basically who she really is about. And we see other dudes and other simps provide her with thousands of dollars of gifts and other types of decorum just because they want to bag her out. You know what I'm saying? And look what happened in the rest of history. Now, in comes the equation with Fresh&Fit, where she comes in and swoops in. She meets this young dude by the name of Fresh Prince CEO. And they've been going out together ever since. Fresh is just like literally flabbergasted at this woman that, you know, he wants to actually seriously take her out on some dates and take her on the yacht. And they claim they met up on the yacht and did their thing. While DJ Academic's one of their guests and one of their close friends that they've actually basically been actually doing like some close contact as accomplices and been doing some work business-wise and podcast-wise, has been challenging Fresh based on his ideals and based on what he says when it came to his current girlfriend, right? Saying that they met on a boat and doing this quick lifestyle, then saying that she's not like the others. Well, yet Fresh fails to realize that she's actually a sugar mama looking for a sugar baby, looking for a sugar daddy. And she did not pick up on those cues. And what makes the situation even more cringe and more awkward, where he has Miranda on one of his side videos, basically on Fresh&Fit CEO channel on YouTube, right? Where he tries to kiss Miranda, and then Miranda pulls away immediately. Why you simping? Awkward. Uh-oh. You know what I'm saying? Why you simping? Very, very awkward. Very, very simpish. Because of all the high controversy that's been going out. And yeah, a lot of folks have literally been checking him and actually blasting him for that, literally having a secret relationship. And they like, he ain't the only one. Myron got that high profile secret relationship profile that she used, where another neighbor of theirs on a different show actually called her out on where she came through Selena Powell, where they're looking to try and get sugar babies and they're trying to sneak them up somehow for free. Super, super awkward because of the craziness that's been going on and them trying to lie, saying that that's not true. They, like Miranda and Fresh, quietly broke it off behind the scenes until recently, where it's shown through DJ Academic's clip that Fresh and Miranda are currently back together. And now they're actually trying to cover their face up and actually say what the heck is going on and all of this. While you're seeing all this controversy fly out, basically like telling all these young men not to pay for box, right? Don't get fleeced by sugar mamas or sugar babies and all that. Try to use your secret arrangement sites that just trying to pimp out women for free. Well, that's not the actual original purpose of that. And when people actually caught up on the BS and they actually catch up, then literally contradicting themselves every single time, now they want to try running foul so that they don't get fully exposed. These motherfuckers, man, for real. It ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. Now here comes the black woman equation for Fresh&Fit, and it all starts with the episode where Myron Gaines and Fresh Prince CEO has Asian Doll on their show, and she came by a little bit late due to the fact that she had other things, other conflicts that actually came around at the time. It was like around 3 months ago. More specifically, it took place around January 3rd, like around 3 months ago, right? So basically, I know this was the episode where Brandon Carter came by and he actually was doing his thing. I'm not gonna try to get too deep into that. Asian Doll came by and actually stopped by as a guest on the show. For many of you who do not know who Asian Doll is, she is basically the widow of King Von, who was tragically murdered and gunned down, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So basically like Home of the South, she basically dated King Von at the time. So they've been together all the way up to his tragic death, sadly. And if we go down further detail as to why I called her a widow, because of that, even though they're not married at all. Homie basically came from Chicago, and sadly he was tragically deleted up in Atlanta. Basically he came by around November 6, 2020, around 2:15 in the morning. Homie King Von's crew were involved in the fight with Quando Rondo's crew on the Monaco Loco lands in Atlanta. Basically we're beefing over some BS, some senseless bullshit. And it quickly escalated into gunfire, and King Von got hit multiple times, transported to the hospital, and later tragically succumbed to his injuries that day at the age of 26. And we already know GBI reported 2 people were killed, 6 people were wounded, and one of them was placed in custody for the murder of King Von while being treated for a gunshot wound. Who was Timothy Leaks, who is actually going through some murder charges right now. So it's condolences to Asian Doll in regards to that, condolences to the rest of her family as well as his family in regards to that senseless tragedy. Now we go back to the situation with Asian Doll actually appearing on Fresh&Fit's podcast for that episode, right? Myron was basically coming by talking, and Asian Doll was actually being playful, have a playful tone saying, "Oh, you a mean ass nigga," and they were actually playing around. Myron, ignored it at first. He's actually going on his usual rhetoric. Basically, Asian Doll is actually quoting again to Myron saying, "Oh, you're a mean ass nigga, excuse me." And then you got the record scratch going on, and Myron literally turns up all the way to 1,000, and then that's when Asian Doll really turned up and gone crazy. And then Myron basically threatened to free castle her up out of her, basically in his quote unquote terms, basically trying to actually kick her out of his apartment, off the show. Out the mail. Basically with the whole fighting and talking, and the other dude that actually came by that actually was with her basically checked Myron and say lay off the whole nine, and that's when he really just tried to calm himself down at that point. And after that, Asian Doll voluntarily walked off the show due to the awkwardness and to the whole nature of the situation. She chose to leave with her friend or bodyguard that came by, and they dipped out of the place. They dipped out of the building up in Brickell. I know the rest went downhill from there, and you see everything that came by with the blogs and what happened with Asian Doll, and Black Twitter and Black social media actually came rumbling through Fresh&Fit, and they found a clip where they were actually dealing with a dating app they had called Black months ago, and you see Fresh&Fit basically discussing about them preferably not dating black girls, but in the way that they said it really irked a lot of black women, right? So there was a subscriber basically making a question saying, what do you think about the dating app called Black, right? I'm basically trying to let you listen it for yourself and see what they say here. You know what I'm saying? So let me try to scroll up here and see what they say, and I'll let you hear their words. There you go.
Like in general, being fresh, don't doubt being dark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and people lost their mind.
Another clip coming.
So what's wrong with having a preference?
When it comes to dating and your personal preferences, is anyone bad tonight?
And we see the game. I see why. And the crazy thing about it, there's another clip that I want to go in on. It actually shows a little stereotypical mindset before we could try to move forward here in a situation like this. So please bear with me. Please bear with me. Fair use up in here. You got the Knight Rider comment going on that actually triggered them. One second.
Black men got property. Obviously,
You are not the stereotype. You are not the
And now you see why a lot of black women are angry and literally losing their minds right now. Look, it's one thing to say you probably don't date black women and just leave it at that, and then you shut your mouth after that. But when you're talking about, hey, we not night riders, we don't deal with the Shaniquas and the LaQuishas of the world and the Kanishas and the Aishas, calling them too ghetto ratchet, hoodwink masculine, the whole send them in them, twerking all over the place, When you say all these things, that crosses the line. And that's going to literally have a lot of people look at you the wrong way, especially a lot of black women, given all the craziness that they've been dealing with on a daily basis, dealing with all these Western nations, and them dealing with this. Of course they're going to be losing their mind. Of course they're going to be literally exploding right now. And that's what really crosses the line. And, because, Myron and Fresh are very extremely awkward, and they don't know how to read the room, and they can't command any respect from the room whatsoever by leveraging their fame. This is what the fuck happens, and more controversy falls in because of stuff like this. And you see a lot of YouTubers up in the black space, Philip Scott, Uncle Phil from the Philip Scott Show and African Diaspora News Channel, literally going in on him. You see Tariq Nasheed, you know, who he was a historical director for Hidden Colors in 1804, literally going in on them, going heavy and trolling both of them, you know, literally treating them like nobodies. And even other big time celebrities that won't even take these two seriously. Oh, these serious names not even mention them by name due to the fact they're extremely awkward and they're extremely contradictory. And even so much so that nobody, Brittany Renner, wouldn't even bother coming in their house. Wouldn't even bother coming up in their podcast, like, speaking on like certain episodes and all that. She wouldn't even want to come on after the behavior that they displayed. So it's beyond despicable, like on the way they did it. It's not what they said, it's how they went about it that ticked off like literally like a lot of black women. You know what I'm saying? Calling them ghetto rats and all these things. And I personally tell you, I grew up with like a black mom and a black father. I had families that, you know, they were together with like black aunties and black uncles that actually went around and actually still together for like a very long time. And they would feel extremely insulted if they would hear some shit like this based on what's going on in Myron's mouth. And like based on the comments on what I'm hearing today, it's like literally beyond despicable. Yes, there are some black women that are just like way flabbergasted and they have like the hood-like aura and the hood-like mentality that, you know, they're completely lost. But there are a lot of black women that are very upkeep. They have a lot of class in themselves. You know what I'm saying? They basically are looking for some guidance as well. They're willing to actually be like I am, and we're looking to be married as well, and have like the most honest upkeep and respect about themselves whatsoever, and they have a lot of self-worth, more than mine and Fresh&Fit will ever obtain or will ever know, if they limit themselves up to these Miami streets. So this is why you see like a lot of black women up on these YouTube streets and a lot of black women in general feeling very up by the comments, you know what I mean? But this is what happens, you know, when you're dealing with one dude who's like a little bit stuttering and extremely socially awkward and socially unaware, with like a late count lie and like a capping lie of 1,000 women, dealing with another dude who's like a ringleader that wants to try and prey on people's insecurities and people's naivety and want to try and dominate people all the time, especially with that little federal law enforcement background that he has up here, you know, being misogynistic towards women. I know I don't want to bring that word up, but being very insecure and misogynistic and want to try and dominate everything and try and dominate people that are less than. This is what the fuck you get. And I'm going to basically discuss everything like real detailed on what they claims are, and like basically on the principles that they show, and like how hypocritical they are, and like how these things like really work in the real world. Because these motherfuckers, man, they are of no use at all. And I'm gonna dig very deep into the ideals of why that is not the case, why you should not be trusting these dudes very seriously. So Illegitimate, Fresh and Fit, Part 3, coming soon.